Hello and welcome to another episode of Wags and Wellness at Boil and Broth. I'm Rachel Down, your host, and today I am joined by the lovely and most amazing Heather Scott, who runs the Pug Snug. I'm so delighted to have you on, Heather. Thank you so much for agreeing.
You are welcome.
Thank you. So I met Heather going back a couple of weeks ago now. It was at the Pet Industry Federation awards ceremony, and Heather, the most delightful Heather, was sat at our table and we just really hit it off. Simon and I, we just couldn't get enough of chatting with you, Heather. And just learning more about your amazing business. So I felt that doing the podcast, really wonderful people are things they do. And, I've always loved pugs. I used to have a friend in Australia that I lived with for a while over there, and she had this cute little pug. I fell in love, and I'd just share with us more of your journey.
Well, pugs were something that I always really loved right from being a child. And I never ever had a pug. We always had dogs right from being a child. Rescue dogs always. All sorts of different ones. Sally was a Labrador cross Jack Russell, which was quite an interesting mix. And then we had Kimmy, who was a Staffy cross Alsatian, so never anything to do with a pug. And then in 2010, I unfortunately was in quite a nasty car accident. And it happened that I unfortunately couldn't work because of the car accident, because of the injuries that I'd received. And I was incredibly alone. I felt incredibly alone. I was on my own. I lived alone. And I started thinking about maybe it was time to get that pug. So I started searching on the internet to see if there was any pugs available. And one came up not far from me in Clacton-on-Sea. And I went down and I got her. She was an ex-breeder. She was with a breeder. She was in a terrible state. I gave him the £100. I grabbed her up, put her in the car, drove home with all the windows open because she was stinking to high heaven. She's in awful state, gave her a bath, and that was my Florence. And I called her Flo. And that's where it began. And her health-wise, she was awful. She had hereditary lung disease. She had poor spine. She had terrible breathing problems, which would have all been passed down to her babies that she was bred and bred and bred and bred. But my Flo was a diva. She was absolutely magnificent. And so my love of pugs started way back, but she was my very first pug, my Flo pug.
Oh, Heather, that's so lovely. And you obviously found from having her in your life that she was a comfort for you, particularly going through a very difficult time as well in your life.
She changed my life within 24 hours.
Wow.
I was in a deep, dark hole, a real big, deep, dark hole. And within 24 hours, she drew me out. I had a reason to carry on. I had to get out of bed and I had to look after her. She needed someone to care for her, to love her, and to just be with her all the time. And although I saved her, she saved me right back. And I owed her so much. I owed her so much. And there was nothing I wouldn't do for that girl. And as she grew older, she became incontinent. She couldn't walk. She had operations on her spine. And I pushed her around in a pushchair. I had her in a little sling. I carried her from here to there. Not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever. And she lived till she was 13 and a half. So she did really well. Really well. And
That's
I like to think
amazing.
it was down to two things. I think it was down to the fact that the Lord brought her into my life. And I think it is also down to the fact that I gave her that ultimate love that kept her going for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, when you do hit rock bottom, you need to find a way to go out there. You mentioned about your faith there. I definitely agree with that, with my own faith. That pulled me out of my dark place as well. But sometimes the Lord does just bring, a being into your world. In your case, it was your beautiful dog that did help to encourage you and save you. And I'm sure that there are so many people that are going to listen to this and and agree that their own dog has brought them out from a dark place. It's given them a purpose to get up in the morning. It's given them a purpose to be out, go walking, whatever it is. And even if you can't walk, you know, you still have that purpose to get up and go.
It was, and it helped in my recovery immensely,
Wow.
immensely. Because
Wow.
from lying, not necessarily wallowing in self-pity, but wallowing in self-pity, I had a purpose. I
Yeah.
took her out. I exercised myself. I was doing more and more and more. And I just had that reason to live. And she was my reason to live. And she also, my darling late dad said straight away, she has changed your life. I can see a different person. You're the old person you used to be before the accident. Within 24
Oh,
hours, when I brought them over to the house to introduce her to them, to my parents, and they were so pleased that she'd come into my life, you know. And Flo actually absolutely adored my dad. She,
oh,
as
did
soon as she
she?
saw him, she'd run straight across over to him, straight on his lap. But he used to feed her cheese sandwiches under the table at
Oh,
lunchtime. So she absolutely adored him. She thought he was the best thing since sliced bread, my dad. And they were
oh, that's so
inseparable,
cute.
inseparable. Yeah,
Oh,
she
that's
really loved my dad,
lovely.
really loved
That
him. And
is
I like
lovely.
to think of them together now.
Oh, that's nice, darling. That is nice. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they
I
are.
know they are. I know they are. She won't be
Oh,
very
bless
far from
you.
him, that's for sure.
Oh. So for you, my love, it was a tough time. You came out of a tough time, and Flow helped to be part of your journey for wellness. And then what inspired the next part of your journey? She obviously passed away, was it towards 2019 to 2020?
2017.
Oh, really? Yeah.
2017. So I went a little while without anybody. And then
Yeah.
I was looking again and I thought, I'm ready again now to come across another little darling that needs saving. And then I came across Blossom, who was called Large Marge at the time, because she was a little bit of an overweight girl. And that
Wow.
was, I got her from All Animals Rehome and Rescue Essex. So I went down to Essex again to collect her on the 1st of December 2018. So she's just had a gotcha day. And
Oh, bless her.
she saw me through a window, her tongue stuck out like that. And she just ran to me, and I picked her up and she was just kissing me, kissing me, kissing me, hugging me, hugging me. And I thought, this is my girl. This is my girl.
Oh,
And
oh, so you
Blossie,
took
as
her
she's
home?
known, that's it. The lady looked at me and she said, she's yours. She is yours. And I brought her home with me, and she immediately did a wee indoors, which wasn't a problem because that's the type of thing that happens. And it was in the shape of a love heart, would you believe?
No, really?
Yes,
Wow.
I took a photo of it. Could not believe it.
Wow.
And she sat there
So,
and she looked at me and I said, not a problem, sweetheart. It's one of those things. And yeah, on a little rug, she did the shape of a love heart wee. And I thought,
wow.
well, that's my sign. And she
Yeah,
just settled
absolutely.
immediately. And she has been the best little hostess for the business. And she's just absolutely brilliant. She
Wow.
really is.
So what did you do for her? Because if she was a little bit away, got her, did you have to put her on a diet?
Yes, immediately. She had been given, because again, she was another breeder who had
Oh,
been thrown
God.
out because she wasn't
Oh,
getting pregnant. So she'd been thrown out, didn't want her anymore, not making the money, not interested. Didn't have a
that's
name,
awful.
just was a number in a shed somewhere. So
Yeah.
first thing to do is not give her all the rich food, which is what they give them to keep them lactating and so on and so forth.
Oh,
So put her on a diet. She get her walking because she hadn't been walked. She hadn't been exercised. She'd been just living in her own squalor. So
wow.
get a bath, get her walked, get her exercised, get her on a diet, and it soon came off
Yeah,
without a
I bet it
problem.
did. And she must have been happy, right? So I think
She
that
was
when,
very happy.
Yeah, and I know, you know, even as humans, when we're content in our lives, you know, we don't need to have, yeah, we think things just become a bit more balanced in our lives, don't they? You know, we might not gorge, you know, so I'm sure that the weight came off as well as part of her happiness with you.
And luckily, she had no problems with her health at that point in time. She was actually pretty healthy, which was
Good.
good. Got her spayed
Yeah,
straight away,
nice.
made sure that she
Yeah,
was nice and healthy, and she
yeah.
was, and she enjoyed her first Christmas, lots of Christmas presents, you know, sitting on a sofa for the first time, sitting on a bed for the first time, all the things which were firsts for her. Watching her
Yeah,
do those things was really exciting. And
yeah,
again,
cool.
just different personality to Flo. Flo was very much the diva. Blossie is very much a laid back girl, very
Yeah.
happy just to snooze and lay back and be a very quiet companion, but very, very empathetic, very
Nice.
knowing,
Yeah, so
very
she's got,
emotionally in tune.
oh, that's nice. That's lovely,
She's
Heather.
a
That
clever
is really good.
girl, a clever
Yeah,
girl.
amazing, isn't it? Amazing. You know, the dogs are fantastic, you know, because they just connect in different ways to us. I mean, there's so much psychology around it, isn't there? With, you know, how dogs are influenced by our mood, that we're influenced by their mood, and yeah, fascinating. So, what brought you to Pug Snug? What is Pug Snug? Tell us a bit about that.
The Pug Snug is something that is, there's very few of us across the country. I am a doggy daycare and a home from home boarding centre for pugs and pug crossers only. So I
Wow.
specialise in pugs and pug crossers only. So I've opened my home to pugs and pug crossers to come and stay for their holidays, because I believe when they come to stay, it's not just, oh, they're going to a kennels, because they don't go to a kennels here. They stay in my house. They are actually having their own little holiday. So I give them a little holiday or a weekend away or a sleepover, whatever they're having, whether it be 1 night, 2 nights, 3 weeks, whatever they stay. So they have their own little holiday and enjoy themselves.
Love
And
it.
they come in for daycare as well, so they have their play days and enjoy themselves. We do all sorts here. We go monster hunting. We play on the pug castle outside when the weather allows us. We've got paddling pools, or pugling pools as we call them. We have
Oh, I love
story
it.
time, cuddle time. We watch the TV together. They've got their own sofa that they lay on. They've got beds
Oh,
galore.
wow.
They've got toys galore. And my
Oh, I think
house is their house.
I love it. It sounds better holiday than what humans get.
So I also keep an ethos where they come first. It's not money. I actually charge a lot less than a lot of other people do. So it's to do with the ethos of the pug's happiness comes first. If at home they sleep on their owner's bed, I wouldn't have them then sleeping here downstairs on their own. They would actually sleep on my bed. So
Wow,
they do
really?
at home as they do here. So I
Oh,
can have up to 8 pugs sleeping on my bed. So at times it's a bit of a squish and a squash. And believe you me, they may be small dogs, but they know how to spread out.
I bet they do. Do they often like muzzle in so that you've barely got any space?
Yes, they do. And as soon as I get up to go to the loo in the night, I'd come back and my space is gone. So I end up with no space whatsoever, which is
That's so
quite,
funny,
quite,
Heather.
quite the thing when I'm trying to move them around at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, come on, now move over so and so, move over Bobby, move over Nala, move over Jovi. And they're all like,
Oh, Heather.
no way, we're comfortable. I'm sorry, Auntie, you're going to have to sleep on the end of the bed.
That is so funny, Heather. These pups that come to you, they must absolutely love it. Do you find that you have the same pugs come back to you at
Yeah,
different times?
yeah. I've got a good retention. They come back quite often. and I've just started a thing
Lovely.
called the Pug Snug Club, which is
Oh,
a
cool.
club for
Tell us
them
about
that
that.
they pay a yearly annual fee, and
Yeah.
for that they get a discount on all their holidays during the year and their doggy daycare, and they also get a bag of goodies, which are branded goodies, Pug Snug branded goodies, and the pugs get some special stuff as well for themselves.
Oh, this is lovely, Heather. What a lovely environment you've created. And, you know, I love it because from something so difficult and challenging in your life, you've been able to create something that's so so good for pugs, particularly because they're often, I think, you know, people maybe misunderstand them. You know, they're cute dogs, but they do have a lot of health problems, don't they?
They do, or they can do. I mean, I've got over 120 pugs on my books, and
Wow.
I would say a handful actually suffer from severe problems. I've got more that suffer from spinal problems than I do have suffer from breathing problems, believe it or
Wow,
not.
that's interesting. Yeah, that is
Um,
interesting.
the breathing problems tend to come from poor breeding,
Oh,
whereas the spinal problems tend to be more um, prevalent because of the fact that as the spine goes down towards the curly tail, the actual column
yeah.
starts to twist, and
Oh,
you get a nipping on the spinal column, so the vertebrae
yeah.
start to twist, and you get a thing called pug myelopathy, which is
Wow, what's that?
specific to pugs, where the back legs start to lose feeling, and they're slowly at different rates. Sometimes it can go quite quickly, sometimes it can go quite slowly, become paralyzed. There's no pain as
Oh,
far as anybody's aware. There's been a lot of studies done on it and a lot of tests done on it. There's no pain as far as anybody's aware, but they do become paralyzed on their back legs.
okay.
But there's lots of ways that this can be overcome, with wheelies, little wheelchairs. You know,
Yep.
they pull themselves around. Physiotherapy can help with the motion of the back legs. It won't cure it. There's no cure,
Yeah.
but it will
Yeah.
actually help with some of the muscle wastage of the back legs. That's with
Oh,
physiotherapy and hydrotherapy. Um, Putting them in the little slings, prams, and they're still. I mean,
excellent.
Handsome, who passed away earlier on this year, he's virtually completely paralysed from the waist down. Absolutely fine. He was as
Wow.
happy as Larry. He had a great life. He really enjoyed his
Amazing.
life. I've got George. He's happy as Larry. He really
Yeah.
enjoys his wheelies. He goes around. He's grinning all the time. I've got a new one coming in very soon called Hector. He's also in the stages where he needs to use his wheelies. He pulls himself around like a little seal.
Yeah.
He's absolutely fine. My own Blossie, she's in the early stages of pug myelopathy. And again,
Wow.
she's doing really, really well. So, you
Yeah.
know,
So nice that you're able to encourage them and also help their owners probably as well to
yes,
happening to them. Owners see the dog, you know, changing or in that way. So to be able to talk to you, experience it, and can have different ways to help them cope with symptoms. Now, Heather, there's nothing preventative that they can do for that condition. Is it
unfortunately
completely
not.
sad, isn't it? It is so sad. It is
It's
sad.
it's something that just happens. There's no way to know if it's going to happen. There's no way to see it coming. um, but it can start from the age of maybe 5, 6 years old, so quite early on.
Oh, that is
Um,
early, isn't it?
yeah,
It's very young, really.
yeah,
Especially, you know, as they can live for 30 to 13, 14, you know, that's quite
yeah,
a long time to have your dog suffer. Or I know that you say they don't suffer, but to cope in that situation, it's like having a disabled dog, isn't it?
yeah.
For an extended period of
And I'll
time.
I'll take any disabled dogs. That's not a problem. If they're blind, I've got blind pugs come in, deaf pugs come in.
Wow.
It's not a problem whatsoever.
Heather, you are amazing. I love it. You know, you're so, yeah, what you're doing, I think, is really important. And, you know, and I hope that if that for any pug owners that listen to this, that they see the passion and the love that you have for pugs. And if they're going away, send them to you, contact you, because you know, they know that they're going to get 5-star treatment. They're going to live
Absolutely.
in luxury when they come to you.
I live, love and breathe pugs.
That's so beautiful. So what's next for the Pug Snug? Obviously, you spoke about your club, which sounds an amazing idea. I love that. I love that, you know, and I hope that some other people want to collaborate with you more on that to help it make it a little bit bigger in the club, in the pug space for you. Any other plans for your pug business?
I'm training at the moment. I'm actually studying to become a pet bereavement counsellor as well.
Oh, great.
I think it's an area that is very much not given the importance that it should be given. This year alone, there have been 7 of my clients, my little furry clients, have passed away. The devastation
Wow.
that their parents are going through is huge. They are absolutely
Mm,
distraught that they've lost their little one. Pets, dogs, pugs, cats, even a hamster, they are a member of
yeah,
the family.
yeah, yeah.
And dogs especially become like a child.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of clients that don't have children. They have a pug.
Of
And when they lose that pug, that is an absolutely devastating life event for them. But they
course.
feel that they can't grieve the way that they could for a human, because people will say to them, oh, it's just a dog.
Yeah,
But to
yeah,
them, it wasn't just a dog.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was their life.
That's so true.
That little girl or little boy was their life.
Yeah.
So I felt it stronger and stronger and stronger, and felt the calling more and more and more over the last 2 or 3 years since I started the business. And this year I found online that you could do a pet bereavement course, which is fine in its own. But I decided that I would actually do the proper counselling courses on top of that, what you
Nice.
might call the counselling certificate and counselling diploma. So I've been doing them with the local college before I actually do the pet bereavement course, because it's non-regulated. And my
Okay.
feeling was, you're talking about people's mindsets here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I had a proper grounding in counselling before I actually spoke to people about bereavement. So
Amazing, Heather.
I went and did, and I'm in the middle of doing the diploma now. I've passed the certificate. I'm in the middle of doing the diploma, and then I'll do the pet bereavement course itself, and then knit them all together and start up specialising in dogs. I'm going to be doing it online so
Yeah.
that I can cover wherever, and just specialise in dogs, not necessarily in pugs, but specialise in dogs. So hopefully then I can get it out countrywide.
Oh, I love that, Heather. I think that's so amazing that you're a bit, you know, offer that service, because I do agree with you. I think it's often something that's so misunderstood, you know,
Yeah,
of you know, of the devastating, you know, and quite as we were just speaking about, you know, earlier about your earlier time when you first got Flow, you know, she was there as your companion who helped you get up every day, who helped you recover, you know, and then to lose that in your life, it must have been very sad, you know. And obviously you did mention that you had to wait a while before you could come to terms of of having
yeah,
another pug. And it doesn't matter, like you say, whether it's a dog or a cat, you know, or any pet. If that person has an attachment to that pet because they've been through life-changing experiences, there's no doubt that they're going to be struggling. And yeah, and I think that we sadly live in a space now where, you know, pets don't seem to have the longevity of life like they used to. You know, obviously a lot of people have dogs now in their families, but you know, people can't afford necessarily to have children anymore, so they may choose to have a dog instead in their relationship, or even just on their own, you know. So yeah, it's definitely a needed profession, I think, and I certainly wish you the best with that, and I think you're doing it the right
Thank
way
you.
for sure, definitely, by helping to
Thank you.
understand the counselling side of it before you take on that, because you're right, you're dealing with humans, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not regulated, right?
Yeah,
Amazing, should be.
it should be.
Yeah, I find that fascinating actually, with particularly in the pet space, but since being, because obviously we're in humans and pets, the humans is so regulated with certain things, you know, packaging claims, certain things you just cannot say in the health food industry, and perhaps quite rightly so. Whereas in the pet, you know, it's a free for all. Everyone can say everything about food and about other things. So yeah, I do. It's a shame that things aren't more heavily regulated in the pet space. I think we probably have a bit more of a cleaner industry.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, cool. Well, this is so exciting. So, Heather, where can people find you? Do you have a website? Are you on socials?
Absolutely. I'm on my
Good.
socials all the time, actually. On socials, you'll find me on Facebook at the Pug Snug. On
Yep.
Instagram, you will find me on the Pug Snug 1.
Yep.
And my website is www.thepugsnug.co.uk. And I'm also at the Pug Snug on TikTok.
Oh, brilliant. How do you go with TikTok?
I'm still learning with TikTok. It's taking me a while, to tell you the honest truth. I've only been on TikTok about a year, but
Yeah.
I'm still learning with TikTok. I still post things by accident and then have to go back and delete them quickly. It is taking me a while, though, definitely.
Isn't it? The TikTok. Yeah, we find it a bizarre space, but it's a great, especially with the younger audience.
Yeah, yeah. I've got not that many followers, but I've got a huge amount of likes, so I'm quite
Nice.
pleased with that.
Oh, lovely, really lovely. Well, Heather, it's been such a pleasure to have you on talking to us about your business, and also how you defeated all the odds to get there. So well done. Keep going, and we'd love to work with you more. So let's definitely stay in touch, and let's get you back on again when you've got some more adventures. Perhaps we'll get you on a bit closer to summer, and you can show us your pug castle or whatever it was in your garden.
Yes, the Pug Castle and the Pugling Pools.
They sound fantastic. Let's get some videos of that.
That would be brilliant.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you again so much, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.
Lovely. Thank you. Bye bye.